But there wasn't a change in the light.
There are imperceptible changes in light.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. If you say so, Steve.
Ever so slightly.
I don't believe you, but...
If he moves the body, it's trying to do it.
Yeah.
You stick to the act, I'll stick to the sound.
Okay.
Ready to go.
He's trying to confuse me with all this technical bullshit. Yeah. Keith Charter, my character, Colonel Green, is head of the American military, and it's a national state of emergency. The international situation is so bad that my character's almost taken over from the president. He's got a huge amount of control.
We do not blame you for your plight, but we must demand that you lay down your lives for fear of further damage to this island Earth.
I'm Rory Jocelyn. I'm the director of Imperial Nova and also the writer of the novel. I chose Colonel Green to lead the majority of the trailer because he's not actually in the first novel extensively. The effect of Colonel Green is very heavy in the novel, has a lot of different threads throughout the entire story, and of course becomes more important as the trilogy goes on.
It's foolhardy to believe that repeating a failed attempt at peace will reap rewards.
However, it was a good way of developing a very important character and drawing in audience with a very dark and interesting storyline without giving away the main crux of the first novel. So people get an idea of the universe they're stepping into from the trailer rather than getting an idea of what the entire story is from the off.
Negotiation is a tactic of spying, approaching your enemies in the glasshouse of safety to investigate their resolve.
I used the British National Party speeches as a lot of inspiration for Colonel Green because I knew I needed to bring in, not racist in Colonel Green's case, but xenophobic beliefs and bring them straight to the fore and be able to suggest horrendous ideals and beliefs and very sick ways of thinking, but I had to cover it in this almost sugar-coated veil of, but this is acceptable, I'm saying nice things. There's this coating and this way of phrasing, which, when you're looking for it, is very easy to spot, but if you're not looking for it and you're just taking them on the words they're saying straight off, sounds actually very amenable and very acceptable. And I found that very interesting, the fact that you could take something as gross as racism and make it sound, actually that's quite alright. And it's when you think deeper, even to a very mild depth, you see just how fake that layer is. And that's where Colonel Green had to sit. He had to be fake. He had to have this layer that people would despise.
It's about a spaceship, isn't it?
It's like spontaneous twerking is spontaneous.
He's a bit of a prick, actually, if I'm honest. Isn't that right? He's a bit of a prick, yeah. He's an Irish prick, which basically says it all. He's the communications officer, spends a lot of his time getting beaten up by the others, and is generally an object of everyone's loathing.
Imperial Nova started life as a theatre script because I'd finished university in theatre. I'd been involved in amateur dramatics in my local area for quite some time, and I felt I wanted to write something that would really be different to anything else that was on stage. Unfortunately, the amateur dramatics company I was with couldn't run the risk of putting on a play that they couldn't guarantee audience numbers for. Over the 4 years of it being written from script and then into novel form, the structure of the story has changed somewhat. It expanded into a trilogy, and it became less focused on these individual 5, even though the first novel still focuses almost exclusively on them to build backstory. But it focused more on humanity in general, the state of politics, things going into this sort of dystopian future, but a genuine, heartfelt attempt to try, wherever possible and in whichever way they could, to reverse that negative spin I think that will sit much better over the course of the trilogy than in the first novel. But it was definitely a big reason for writing it in the particular way it has been written, and writing out a couple of story elements which I felt no longer fit that theme.
I like this.
It's great, isn't it?
It's good.
The next time you want to pass judgment on me, Doctor, you can see yourself to the nearest airlock.
Good. Right.
She's laughing.
She's
laughing,
giggling.
yeah.
Stop
Sack the
giggling.
pig.
Professional, dear. Professional.
I can't work with this, Steve.
My character is Captain Conrad. Yeah, he's Russian, quite bitter actually, because his son became a politician, and he believes his son betrayed him because he became a politician. So that's on Earth. So on the spaceship, he shows this sort of very relaxed, liberal personality that, you know, I get on with everybody. But on the spaceship, he's very formal and very sort of matter-of-fact.
Would you rather lose to China? Oh, sorry, Scottish now.
Scottish.
You'd rather lose to Chinese snobbery before we've begun? Would you rather lose to... Christ. Would you rather lose to Chinese No,
Sorry, that's
Scottish.
Scottish.
No, it's not you, it's me.
Go on.
It's the Rother.
Yeah.
Rules. Yeah, the rules.
Should I prefer?
Around it.
Would you prefer to use...
Yeah, would you prefer? Because it's basically the same. If rather is making you
Rather,
Scottish,
would you prefer to lose to Chinese snobbery before we have even begun? Scottish.
you're rolling it there.
Fuck off.
Oh, it's fuck off.
What is that accent?
I have no idea. It's a very tiny part of Russia at the top.
Direction on this was very interesting, actually. It's my first time directing anything. That probably shows to professional filmographers. But yeah, I took a lot on board while doing it, and I've started learning new techniques for further trailers and other projects that I'm looking at doing, including cinematography and trying to learn new ways of doing some of the effects I achieved in post-production, and trying to work out how I can do those in camera so that the quality holds stronger from start to finish. So it's one of those things where it's like easy enough to look back and go, well, he was scum because he did this, this, and this.
Yeah.
They didn't have to make the hard choices you had to make.
Okay.
So this is more upsetting.
Yeah. Okay.
This is quite heartbreaking for you, because this is where you're bleeding your heart out to whoever it is on the other side. Yeah, because
okay.
you know, because you wanted to be a hero and you're now a monster.
Yeah. Is this?
One more take, Keith. You don't very well. Try not to drink too much of that.
Actually drink that.
The cast were actually very good. They took direction very well. Notably Keith Chanter, who had the majority of the script to deal with as Colonel Green. So I found it very easy to work with them, and the actual quality that I could get in such a short space of time, we only had a day, was outstanding.
Information is vital to crush enemy thing. Yeah.
I don't know what it's about, Rory. I'm so sorry. Can you cut that, please? I have no idea.
I see your son's a politician. You must be very proud.
Proud?
My character, her name's Kate Jefferson, and she is German, but she's been speaking English for so long that she speaks it almost as good as me, and she is the ship's doctor. I know it's about a spaceship, and it's quite political.
The context of the book is this dark political dystopia. It's important that that comes across from the characters. The first Imperial Nova novel focuses specifically on victims, and that would be, more to the point, the 5 victims on board the Hawking who have been sent out on this peace mission. The idea that they weren't the best of the best, the fact that they were sent out there because when it comes to war they're pretty useless, let's just get shot of them and make it look like we're trying with this mission. The odds consistently stack against these 5 characters and against the mission of which they've been sent to do.
You know just the wrong thing to say at the wrong time!
Okay. You want to go one more time?
Burn the best!
David Fox Productions.